feel that. Tell me that doesn't feel like a cock.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas,
Hold
everyone.
on, I gotta start over. I gotta start over. Sorry.
3, 2.
One more take.
3, 2.
Hey, everybody. Merry Christmas from I'll Watch It Later podcast. As always, I'm Aaron, and I'm joined by my best friend, Jordan.
Hi, everybody.
And my best friend, producer, and brother-in-law, Scott.
Howdy.
This is your very special Christmas episode. We watched Cockfighter.
Oh, we watched Cockfighter.
Like minutes, just
I mean,
finished.
we rolled right in hot.
This is a group pick. We watched it together. We're gonna maybe we'll start doing more stuff like this where we watch everything together and then just fire the mics and talk about it, because this is sight unseen. No one knows what anybody's gonna say. I think we kind of all know where we stand on it. But if you're listening to this, it is Christmas 2021. Maybe you just got done unwrapping some presents. Maybe you just got done eating with your family, and you just don't want to be around anybody. You just want to throw in your new AirPods or
Whip your cock out.
fire up your new Bluetooth speaker and listen to a podcast. Well, this is it for you, man. Go sit down on Amazon, watch Cockfighter, find it on YouTube. We are here to talk about Cockfighter today. So, this is just, this isn't going to be a normal show. We're not going to, delve incredibly deep into it or anything like that. We are going to talk about it, but if this goes 25 minutes, then that's what it goes. If it goes an hour and a half, then that's what it goes. Yeah.
Just kind of initial reactions.
So this is directed by Monty Hellman, which, I bought the movie specifically because Quentin Tarantino talked about it, as this now comes up on every show. I'm now...
See, at least now you're seeing it. He's not fighting us anymore.
Starring Warren Oates, Ed Begley Jr., I guess, if you want to say it's starring him.
He's got a nice little cameo in it.
And who's the other guy?
Harry Dean Stanton.
Yes, Harry Dean Stanton.
There's another actor in there, his partner, throughout the rest of this movie. I honestly, off the top of my head, can't remember the guy's name.
Richard B. Schull?
Yeah, he's a character actor that has, he's got a good resume. I mean, you've probably seen him in a few other things. A little bit older than he is in this movie. He looked definitely younger, but it was definitely, recognizable, for at least for me.
Absolutely. This movie is, what was it, 1974?
Right.
1974.
It was pure 1974, guys. Like, it was 1974 through and through. I
think that was great about. Honestly, I liked that.
Me too.
Like, it was. It definitely oozed early 70s.
Captured the time.
And early 1970s, South. All the cars were old, but they were new then. Some of the you see the old small towns of like you said, it looked like Gulfport and all these other little small towns. I mean,
it looks like Gulfport now.
Right. Not much has changed.
Much has changed.
It's the movie is about Warren Oates plays a character who wants to be the greatest cockfighter of them all, and he's not doing so
stupidly crazy.
He's not doing so well, so he takes a vow of silence and he starts rebuilding himself as best as he can in an hour and 20 minutes to become the best cockfighter ever. And I want to get you guys' takes on it first. I have a whole thing here in my mind that I want to spew, and I just don't want to overdo it right up front. So I want to hear what you guys say. I'm going to bounce some stuff off you, but then I have a diatribe. So let me let's start with Scott. What did you think, Scott?
So I was actually pleasantly surprised by this movie. We kind of went into this thinking, okay, this is going to be a spoof. It's funny.
This is a joke to us.
It's Cockfighter. Ha! It's funny. This was actually a fun movie to watch. This movie could not get made today in any aspect, because it is graphic. It is real cockfighting, guys. It is. I mean, it shows everything. I mean, they have to stop and pull the metal talons out of the other chickens.
Yeah, and these are like
Do the
3-4 inch
large
talons.
Yeah, it's. I mean, and it's super bloody. It's super graphic. There's a lot of dead animals in this movie,
Like
and
buckets.
yes,
Like back of the truck, toilet, bathtubs full of dead roosters. Like,
and
what the
I think
hell?
there was a comment thrown at the beginning of this was like, I wonder if the chickens, if they got the chickens to play dead, or if this is real. And I'm like, this is absolutely real.
Yeah.
It spared no expense on the realism of this movie, and it was as sad as it is when you think about it. For probably the amount of chickens that died in this movie, it made it so much more pleasurable to watch, if that makes sense, because of how
was
real
real.
it was.
I think it had roosters, by the way.
They-
not
Well,
chickens.
I mean,
Well, I
it's
think
fun to say chickens.
I
so.
looked up the competitive rooster cockfighting, and there are chickens that get into this, but I think mainly it's mostly roosters that are
Right.
bred for this. But you said early on that that they're not going to be able to put that no animals were harmed in the making of this movie at the end of the movie. I'm sitting there going, many animals are harmed in the
Oh,
making of this
a
movie.
lot.
Like, they are proud of it.
Well, it's kind of weird because, first off, I didn't really think it was a spoof or anything. Because I know Monty Hellman is a prolific director. He makes a lot of, like, Two-Lane Blacktop. Criterion grabbed that, and I don't know why. I mean, I'm assuming because of the whole cockfighting thing, they haven't made this into a catalog, a boutique label with a bunch of special features.
It's controversial.
Well,
I
and
can
I don't,
see it.
I don't
you know?
think he says it as a spoof, like this is a spoof movie.
No,
I
no,
think
no.
the
I meant
idea
like
of us
a
going into
comedy, yeah.
watching it
Right.
was more of a spoof. Like, oh, we saw it on your shelf, we joked about it. Let's just watch this as a larf. Like, this is going to be funny to us.
Yeah, I agree.
Like Scott, I didn't expect to enjoy it as much as I did.
But what I was trying to say is, like, the only movie I actually knew that kind of dealt with, like, animal torture, for lack of a better term, was Cannibal Holocaust, and I know I always got a lot of crap for that. I've never heard anyone talk about this film ever, except for the podcast I heard it on that caused me to buy the DVD in the first place. I've never ever heard anyone bring this movie up as like
Right.
So I'd like to delve more deep into that. I really can't express enough, guys. Usually we have days to research, do our little trivia and stuff. We watched the movie, we ate dinner, and we came back in here to do the show.
Within minutes.
Yeah, within minutes. There was really no prep time, so maybe there is a big uproar about this, and maybe that's why you never see it programmed anywhere,
Well,
like an Alamo or anything like
Scott
that.
and I were talking about it, and I guess they did a film festival not too long ago. Not too long. I mean, it could be 90s for all I know. It's fucking time. But they did ban it in the UK. They did ban it in like Scotland and
Yes,
things like
I
that
saw
when they were
that.
trying to do film festivals and show this movie. I
said
mean,
it
it
was-
has had a little bit of an uproar.
Said it
as
was
far as-
banned at the 2006 Edinburgh Film Festival following intervention by the Scottish Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals.
Okay, so that makes a lot of sense, especially when you watch this movie. I don't want to delve too much. I don't want to spend too much time on the deaths of the chickens and everything. I really want to talk about the story because I honestly think the story is incredibly great.
It actually it kind of holds up.
Yeah, it's
I mean, because you've seen this story before. I mean, this
Exactly.
is literally every sports movie, every
Yes.
coming back from defeat. I mean, this is Rocky. This is fucking, like you said, over the top. This is every football movie. This is Rudy. I mean, this is sport, but with just such a weird twist on it because it is cockfighting. But you put any sport in this situation, and it still works. So yes, it's a timeless story. It's just
Because
deals with
this guy
cockfighting.
fails over and over and over again
Every
throughout the
time.
beginning of this movie, and that's obviously why he takes his vow of silence. But he loses all these roosters to the fighting because he can't pick these winning cocks. And it sounds funny, but they say cock 9 million times in this movie,
Well-
and it's so hilarious because it's just so just rolls off the tongue
Well,
to everybody
what
as
was
they're
so
talking.
weird is every time it was said, Scott goes, yummy. And I was like, I mean, we were eating dinner, but it
We
was
were
just
eating
so
chicken.
weird.
So, I
Yeah.
mean, we had a theme night. It was
Yeah,
great.
we did. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah. Well, when the funny thing is for the lack of a better term, the reason why he takes the vow of silence is because he got cocky. And I'm using that term kind of as a joke, but
Very
it's
loosely.
true. He was very cocky about something. So impromptu threw down their dicks at this point and had a cockfight in the middle of in a flashback scene in the middle of a hotel room, and his rooster gets killed. So him being cocky got his rooster killed, and because they kept saying, well, you mouth off too much, you drink too much, all this shit, he takes a vow of silence. And that's what prompted him to shut his mouth until, what happens at the end. So I just find that kind of funny that his cocky nature in the realm of cockfighting is what causes him to go on this quest to earn his little medal from, whatever. It's just crazy. Like, you're right. It's a sports movie. Like, this is a sports movie. And,
I think so much like as a sports movie, it's a man with no name movie. Like, he comes into town, he's an asshole. I was telling you when we were watching it what it reminded me of, and you're gonna probably think I'm crazy, but I'm not joking when I say this. It reminded me of a Western. It reminded me of Once Upon a Time in
I knew
the
you were
West.
going to say that.
And
Harmonica.
It was
That's exactly what I thought you were going to say.
It was such a this guy, he wasn't there to make friends. He was there to complete his job. There was a girl waiting for him that he just throws to the side, uses for his own personal. Everything was that he did in this film was to boost his cockfighting ability, and he didn't care who he hurt along the way.
Talking about this,
He didn't care who he hurt along the way, but he was like a fun-loving asshole, and the Vow of Silence just made him more mysterious. But he
wasn't hateable.
Yeah,
he was not hateable in any way.
It was just so Western to me, I thought Warren Oates was just fucking phenomenal in this movie. Like, he was just so I hated him, but at the same time I didn't hate him.
Well, he was a dick. At the beginning, he loses his cockfighting match. He throws his rooster in this giant bin of dead chickens, and then immediately loses his trailer, which is his house, and the woman he is shacking up with.
Yeah.
And he's like, fuck it. And then he walks away, and
he doesn't give a shit.
Not one bit.
Not even a little bit. And he's like, and apparently he keeps running into the same guy he loses all that stuff to in the beginning. And, I guess he's the one that caused him to take his vow of silence anyway. And he can't seem to get out of his own way. He's cheating at every turn. It was such a character study. I don't know. I get why this is maybe a cult film, why it's in that realm of the way it is.
Yeah.
I just can't believe I've never heard of it.
Well, yeah, and he like you said, he kind of is cheating. He's narrating parts of the movie. So throughout the movie, he's kind of telling you certain things. And at the beginning, he's cutting the beak of his chicken to kind of,
to make it look
like it's cracked, so the bets will be higher and they'll bet against him, and he's in it with somebody to bet against him just so he can win. But he's quick to point out people who cheat.
Yes.
So he's like, for lack of a better term, what's good for the goose is good for the gander, and he's really fucking against it.
All the
he's
poultry puns are really
it's gonna be
awesome.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be so awesome. But yeah, it's so quick to point out people fucking up and doing shit when he's, like you said, he's cheating, anytime he can.
Yeah, and at the beginning he moves his house and everything just to set up. He doesn't care that his I want to say sister maybe. I didn't really catch that.
It's either I think it is his sister, because that's the brother-in-law she's living with.
Right, because the dad owned the house and left it to him or something, so he had the
something
title
like that,
to it and sold the house from underneath him.
Literally from underneath him. Hey, guess what?
They
We're
dug
moving
it up
the house.
and threw it on a truck and moved it.
Yeah, it was I don't know, man. I really loved it. It reminded me of indie films that come out today. It was just a pleasurable experience. Even as tired as I was very, very interested in finishing the film, and
I think part of it for me was being able to actually be in the same room with you guys watching this shit. But at the end of it, even the subject matter being as weird as it was, I did find it an enjoyable experience.
Right.
Now, this is not something I would say everyone should watch. I want people to watch this movie. Definitely don't watch it with your kids. Don't even bring them near it.
If you don't like the animal cruelty stuff,
you might.
stay. There's a lot of close-ups and there's a lot of graphic nature to it.
Like
but
you said, they're pulling out talons out of their neck. You see these 3-inch metal blades that they tie to the rooster's legs, and oh my God, like I'm not squeamish. I've seen some shit, but just I don't know. Like I said, I kind of wanted it to be like, well, they trained all these roosters to play dead. No, they fucking kill. I can't imagine the rooster budget on this movie. Like that's probably like 50% of the movie. They killed so many roosters.
Monty Hellman's like, I have $1 million for roosters.
Just roosters.
But let's not gloss over the fact though that we get, for me, one of the greatest montages of this whole movie, where he gets his rooster, White Lightning, and we go into a training montage.
There is a training montage
of the
for
rooster running a wheel, and he's training it with the fake rooster and stuff. I mean, we get the whole montage to music, like Rocky training for his fight. It's the greatest scene of the entire freaking movie.
For me, the only thing that would have made that better, instead of him narrating him why he's training it and the benefits of training, just put a song over it. Like this is very Merle Haggard type music, things like that. Montage. Just put a montage music over the top and have him training the rooster. That would have just. That would have been
a hero.
Yeah.
That song hasn't been invented yet.
I know, but I'm just saying it was it'd be so classically placed in that moment of the movie. It just something along that lines would have made it just phenomenally better.
Yeah, just elevated just a little bit more. I mean, he's narrating it, telling you why he's doing it, and it makes their legs stronger, and that's great. But fucking give me a song and montage that shit. Oh my God, I would have loved it. Intersperse it with some of the fights. White Lightning's winning, and just he's raising the wing up in the air or something. Just little shit like that would have made me so happy. But it was still good.
I get wanting that, but I think that would.
I know
too much away.
Could you imagine?
Because it's such a subtly good film, and I agree with you when you say that you want everyone to see it, except unless you're squeamish or you're against animal cruelty and all that stuff. But I just think it is so timeless, and it's something I would be like, okay, Parker needs to watch it. You want something so bad that you just.
But technically, you did watch it.
He was there, eating popcorn, enjoying the movie.
You know what I mean.
Be like, son, you remember when we watched Cockfighter?
You're like,
together?
oh look, there's a topless scene. Look, just pointing at the screen. It was very weird.
I love how he treated that girl. He did not give a fuck about her.
Yeah, he's laying out by the lake, and he's got the girl. He's got her shirt off. She's montaging why, I want this, I want that, and then he's like, well, fuck you. Doesn't even say it. Just gets up, like you said. Go skip a rock, but doesn't. He just fucking chucks it across the lake and then walks away. I'm like...
Because he doesn't have any interest in time for girls, bro. He's to become
training,
the
man.
best. That is what made him such a great character. He was so unrelenting. And I just can't get over Warren Oates' performance in this movie. I thought
it was pretty good. What have I seen him in? Can you think of anything else that... Because he looked familiar, but I can't place him. I know the name.
This was his Wall-E performance.
Right.
Where you just go the whole movie not saying a single word.
Yeah, there was a flashback scene where you hear him talk, and
he was in Stripes.
Okay.
Wow.
That's where honestly, I think that's where I'm placing him.
He's in Two Lane Blacktop, which I've never seen, but I have always wanted to.
And that was another Monty Hellman movie, wasn't it? Yeah, because
the Wild Bunch, but the old one, 1969 one.
Yeah, Monty Hellman's known for doing road movies. He loved road movies. He's it was the last frontier for him.
And I would say technically that Cockfighter is a road movie.
It is. I mean, he's going from town to town doing all these big fights, and I think that's where maybe you and I differ on the whole Man with No Name thing, because this guy is literally well known. He is big in the middle of all this stuff. Everyone knows this guy. And even where Ed Begley Jr. was like, I want to have my fight with this. You're famous. Let my rooster kick your ass. And then
not like Man with No Name, but more he's going from town to town. He's just drifting in and out, going into town, doing his thing, taking what he wants and leaving. And everyone knows who he is, but they're not, it's kind of he's mysterious. What's going on? All he wants is to be a cockfighter, but no one knows anything else about him, because he kind of alludes to his dad's stuff and, the life he left behind to pursue this cockfighting dream. And that's all I meant by that. I don't mean literally the Clint Eastwood character or anything. It was just it was a very interesting portrayal for such a weird subject matter.
Yeah, it definitely was. And I liked seeing some of the randomness of it. When they they're just randomly in a hotel room talking about, okay, so this room is where we're going to move all the furniture and set up this cockfighting ring. And then, this is where we're going to do this in the bathroom. And then all of a sudden,
Keanu Reeves.
the dead presidents from Point Break come in and rob these old men of all their wallets.
Because they know all the money that's being
No,
bet.
I get that. So, but like, my thing is, I wanted to know who these guys that robbed them were. Were they insiders? Were they part of it all? And they knew, these guys would be here at this time. Like, I kind of wanted to know that little side story for a second, but
I think it was just there.
it was funny. Like, I love that scene.
I think it was just there to show you, like, it's dangerous no matter where
Right.
you're at. It's
Literally in a Motel 6.
Yeah, these are always there's always this sketchy element to it. No matter who's in on it or who's involved with it.
It's weird because you're saying that there's this sketchy element, and it feels very like underground and secretive, but it's not. Like, we're watching
Right.
this, and at the end, the senator of the state is sanctioning this cockfight, and they have this big cockfighter championship dinner at the mansion, and I don't know, it just feels like at one point it's underground, but then at other points it feels like a state sport.
Well,
like,
I feel
it's
like
so weird.
I feel like they're not trying to normalize it. That's why they send in the robbers. Like, oh, this isn't something that's normal. Like, bad things still happen.
Yeah.
Yes, it is put to an elite. It almost reminds me, like this was made in 1974, and clearly we've had movies similar to this, but it's almost like I hate to even use this as an example, but like a Fast and the Furious or that movie Fighting with Channing Tatum, where it's like that this is going on, illegal street racing, illegal MMA, but you don't know where to go to see it, and it's still dangerous.
I feel like everyone knows where to go to see it. Apparently, they're bringing families to cockfights and getting pictures with the reigning cockfighter champions and stuff like that. So, I mean,
well, that's elite.
it feels weird where, like, some scenes where, like I said, they were fighting inside hotel rooms. Other scenes where it's like, someone's barn, and then, you're at the governor's mansion.
The crazy thing is a lot of I'm just kind of looking up some stuff on cockfighting, and a lot of like in-state cockfighting wasn't even banned till like the 2000s.
2007 was Louisiana. It was like the most recent one.
This one says like Oklahoma in 2002.
Yeah.
It was legal for a while.
Right. But I'm saying I'm pretty sure it was considered shady or like less.
I don't know. That one guy wore his
desirable.
medal like it was a
He
badge
loved
of
that.
honor,
He would
and
whip it out for anyone to see.
Yeah,
He's
which
like,
is the writer of the book that this is based on. So he wrote the book 10 years prior,
Awesome.
and then now he was acting as the facilitator for Warren Oates' character to get White Lightning, and then apparently like 10 black chickens. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
a very racist movie.
No, because James Earl Jones' dad is in it.
Yes. So
And,
I made an offhand comment that when I was looking it up, and then I saw the beginning credits, Robert Earl Jones was in the movie. And for a second, my eyes played tricks on me, and I was like, oh, James Earl Jones. This is going to be one of his first movies. And it wasn't him. And I was like, okay. The guy's character comes on screen, and I was like, he kind of looks like him. And I made a comment, and Scott looked it up, or someone looked it up, and sure enough, James Earl Jones' father, Robert Earl Jones, is in this movie, and sounds just like James Earl Jones, looks just like James Earl Jones. It was so weird because I after knowing that, I could not hear it. You know what I mean? It was so cool.
I completely agree.
And it's like I never knew his dad was an actor. And I looked it up, and apparently he went by Earl Jones for a lot of older movies and stuff like that. So it's kind of neat to see. Like, we've watched some of these older movies, and they're like time capsules to seeing some of these actors. Like when we watched Rumblefish, we see some of these actors we know in younger roles, and they look young, and it's like, oh my gosh, this is crazy to see them. To see James Earl Jones' dad in this was kind of weird. It's like the time where I found out that Cuba Gooding Jr.'s dad was like a disco music artist, and I found an album of his. I'm like, that is so random and weird. Like, I didn't know about this kind of like lineage. That's how it kind of felt for me. I was like, this is neat.
And that is exactly the reason I wanted to do this in the first place, is for stuff like that, because you got to know where you came from to know where you're going. And I think visiting old movies like this is just so awesome, because you've seen it done better, but you don't get all the like, they're doing this in 1974. Like, I've seen this 2 weeks ago or whatever. Oh my goodness, James Earl Jones' dad. That's crazy. That's yeah. So I mean, I love old discoveries. This is definitely up there for the year as discovery for me. I please watch this film. Like, if you have not seen it, please. Amazon, you get the Shout TV. You can watch it for free. It's a great quality, way better than the YouTube rip.
Yeah, for sure.
So, and I have the DVD, and everyone's like, well, why don't you just put the DVD in? Because that DVD is the YouTube rip. So if you have
upsetting is that
yeah,
now?
if you have access to Amazon, I'd watch it on there.
It's
Scott?
just I like these kinds of older movies.
Me too.
I do think you're right. It's nice to see where things came from before they get to where they are.
I'll be honest. I thought this movie was going to be boring as shit.
The funny thing is that
I did.
I honestly enjoy how organic and dumb us getting to this point
Right.
a couple weeks later, as you know, we're giving Aaron shit for owning the movie Cockfighter, and it's become this joke, and then it snowballed into let's just fucking watch it, and it was a much more enjoyable experience. Like I said, setting, I think it was fun to get together and do this. I would like to do this more often with some stuff, even if it's stuff we've all seen, and let's just do it. I mean, me and Scott are way into, and I know Aaron will get on board eventually with the let's live do this, and we'll just fucking riff on it.
Yeah, we were literally talking about just like hooking up the mics and watching the TV and doing commentary
and
through the whole damn thing.
And it might have to be something that we maybe have already seen, so it doesn't ruin the experience of experiencing something new.
I get that, and I know like we can Mystery Science 3000 this
For
bitch,
sure.
but my problem is as you guys know.
Yes, I said Masterpiece Theater on the previous show, so it's Mystery Science Theater for the Santa Claus.
Yep.
I understand what you're saying.
I just want to put that out there because as you said that, I just thought about it because I said Masterpiece Theater, and somebody's going to say, "You dumbass! It wasn't Masterpiece Theater; it was Mystery Science Theater."
But what I'm trying to say is like these guys will knock my lightsaber slightly off the wall, and it will ruin the entire show for me.
It does distract him completely.
Trying to watch a movie and discuss a film at the same time is something I will absolutely do it. It's just something I'm going to have to fucking figure out how to do because when I'm here with you
More
guys,
sleep,
I'm
we'll
focused.
get you some caffeine, we'll have some fun. Like I said, it doesn't have to be something we haven't seen. I think if we haven't seen it, like with Cockfighter, I think that format, as much as I thought would have been good, I see now that maybe it would have taken away from us actually really enjoying it.
Right.
But if we pick a movie, or someone writes in and wants us to do something
Like a revisit.
That's why I said Night of the Demon. I've never seen that, and I know it's very expensive overseas. It's like a $70 disc, but
aren't they redoing it?
Yeah,
like bringing
Severin's coming back with it. It is literally a movie about a Bigfoot, and that rips off a biker's dick. I mean, the whole movie's not about that exact scene.
That's the plot.
But it's about a Bigfoot that goes around killing at night, and that he rips off a biker's dick.
I'm seeing a trend here.
Man, what a day.
Oh my goodness.
But I mean, at the end, so we get to the ending, right, of this movie.
Oh man.
And there's literally so he goes in to the swanky cockfight, right? They're all dressed up in suits, and they got numbers on their backs, and he rides in with White Lightning, right? And they make this dramatic fight to the death with White Lightning, where they're close up on the faces of these roosters.
It's actually very sad.
And these like White Lightning's like looking at him like, "Oh, I'm doing this for you, buddy." And it's actually kind of almost like when you get into those sports movies, very emotional. And they're pulling these talons out of the frickin' necks, and they put the birds, and they're lying on each other, and they're bleeding, and the blood's spraying on the fancy shoes and stuff. And then the woman that he loves comes strolling in, and he sees her, and she gets disgusted by this whole thing,
right,
and walks off. And the fight is over, and he wins Cockfighter. He wins the year. Yeah, he wins the match. Well, at this point, he doesn't know he's Cockfighter of the year, so he follows her into the parking lot with this dead rooster,
just carrying it around,
and
like
she is just giving him the fucking works. And he fucking puts the rooster on the ground and puts his foot on his head and tears the fucking head off of this rooster and proceeds to hand her the head of this fucking rooster.
This guy's a cat and just killed a pigeon and is giving it to you as a gift at this point.
Pretty much.
And it's just so... I kind of like half mouth open for this. I'm like, we all looked at each other and was like, he just tore his fucking rooster's head off.
I audibly could not believe it because I think the idea is that she knows that this is what he's into. I think she has been to a few of these. I don't think she's disgusted by the fighting itself. She came. I think what happened and yeah, damn. And the mics. Now he laughs. We've been saying cock all night, and this is the one time he thought was funny.
Are you talking about me?
Yeah, you. So I think what happened is that she finally really focused on him. And she even says it, that when she's watching the fight happen, she sees how into it he is. How I don't think no matter what, he's ever going to give this up.
She knows she can't change him.
He's never going to change. He's never going to stop pursuing this. Even if he wins, he's still going to keep going. She's always going to be second tier to cockfighting.
The man with no name
thing
I was talking about. I just don't know what else to call it. But
That's fine.
absolutely. I completely agree
it's
with
the moral at the end of, like, you give up everything.
He's given up
to
everything.
Win.
Yes.
And to be the best.
And you
he's
want to
finally lost the girl.
Best.
Yes.
And he
gets Cockfighter of the Year.
Right. He's so intense on it, and he's happy that he's won, and to spoil it, because fuck it.
We do that.
He finally wins the last match. His rooster kills the other rooster, but that rooster also kills his rooster. So it's literally a draw, but it's not because of the way they do the scoring, and his rooster finally wins. And
well, it was still alive. So when he picked it up, the rooster was still, like, just barely hanging on.
Which I guess makes it worse that he steps on this chicken's fucking head and rips it off. One motion. It wasn't like a jerk, try to get this. No, rips the chicken's head off, picks it up, open palms her, and slaps it in her hand like he just handed her a wad of money. And she's, like, disgusted for a half a second and then makes that realization, like,
never going to change him.
You're never going to change. You lost me.
Maybe one of the greatest scenes in cinema history
also,
now.
But now you think about it. But he also probably... He says it, but I think you also realize she does love him because she's that upset about what happened. And so she takes her handkerchief, wraps it up like leftovers, and sticks it in her purse. Like, she didn't throw the chicken's head down in disgust. She didn't drop it and walk off.
I think she just wiped her hand off.
No,
she rolled it up in the napkin.
Chicken's head and stuck it in her purse like fucking leftovers. Got in her car and took off. And this is where you finally get that moment. You just won Cockfighter of the Year. All but pretty much won this. And then he's like, she loves me. And it's like the first real word, like, other than the narration and voiceover and that flashback, you don't hear anything from him until this moment. Roll credits. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
I thought it was a perfect
It was a great ending. It was just like, wow. Like, rips the fucking rooster's head off and then hands it to her.
I think even the ending with the two fighting to the death, and they both kind of kill each other. I think that was kind of like maybe a metaphor for the whole thing. Like, you might win, but you killing yourself at the same time type of situation. That's just how it felt to me. Like, oh yeah, he's gonna win, but he's gonna lose.
No joke. I'm gonna look for the book.
Yeah.
I want to find the book, and I want to read this book and see.
Audible, baby.
Your wife's going to see this on the nightstand, and she's going to be like, what are you into right now?
That's funny. Just it would be fantastic to find this book and then just see what they kept in, what they, I hate that I like this so much.
Looks like they fucking kept a lot of it in. I don't know, man. It's like, I can't imagine cutting much out because they left a lot of stuff.
I saw something that there is a longer version, but I don't even know.
With more death. I don't
know
what
how
else
to access it or anything.
And the pacing of the movie is actually pretty decent. There's no slow down. There's no slow parts to it.
I was falling asleep, but for other reasons, not because this movie was boring in any way. I actually stood up so I could make sure I could keep myself awake.
I thought he was just super into the.
But if this movie was at remote any part boring, you'd have been gone.
Yeah, no, it honestly held my attention.
Yes.
And it's wild to think that. Like I said, started as a joke. I just, like, this is funny, haha, and I'm like sitting there watching it. I mean,
this is a good movie.
We cracked wise every now and then, but for the most part, there was a lot of lulls where we're just watching it, like, eyes glued to the TV, Aaron standing up doing, front kicks to keep awake, and it was enjoyable, like a lot more than I honestly expected.
It exceeded my expectations. Let's just put it that way.
So let's rate it, Jordan. What do you give it?
I'm gonna give it a 3. It's better than most. You're right. I mean, it's a good sports movie. As much as I hate to say it, I would probably rewatch it just for fun. I want to get the book. I want to see what's going on about it. I think it was really fun. Like there were parts that were enjoyable. Then there's got that cringy moments with the roosters. You even get a really fun, stupid fight between a young, gangly, dumb-looking Ed Begley Jr.
That was awesome.
And Warren Oates, and it's just it's silly in parts where it needs to be silly, but I think it was an enjoyable movie.
And Scott, what do you?
I was kind of thinking right about the same, man. It's probably a 3, maybe a strong 3. I don't know if I'd go 3.5, but I mean, for me, it's a 3, which is better than halfway. I mean, it was an enjoyable movie. Like I said, it kind of took me by surprise how much I actually enjoyed it, because I didn't think I was going to like this movie. Being a movie from 1974, I thought to myself, I was just planting the seed. I'm like, I'm probably not going to like this movie. I'm probably boosting myself up for something that is going to be disappointing for me. And it wasn't. So, I mean, if you're looking for a good movie to just watch something completely different, I can recommend this.
Yeah, this to me is A24 before A24 existed.
Right, this is Lamb.
Lamb sucks ever. This is, I know we hate Midsummer, but in the vein of Midsummer. I think if this was made today, it would be, all the teeny boppers would do their dissertations at college on this film. I think that this film holds up. I think for a film being from 1974, it is endlessly rewatchable. It is endlessly just what's the word? Relatable. I think Warren Oates was amazing. I think the story was really good. I thought the ending was good. I thought the entire thing was interesting. So I'm going to give it a 4. I would really like a better version of this, like to put in my collection. I'd get the collector's set of this. I'd watch it at Alamo with a bunch of people, and I'd discuss it with people outside afterwards. I
don't think we're ever going to see that time of day where somebody's going to play this in a theater.
No,
unless you go to a private theater, like Tarantino's theater
or L.A. or something like that.
Yeah, where they would do that because
this is a Grindhouse midnight showing at
and I would definitely go to a midnight showing.
There will be people with picket signs probably out front picketing for animal cruelty.
Yeah, absolutely, but I just think
everywhere.
I just think if you're wondering like what indie movies look like in the 70s and 80s, this is the perfect example. This is very low budget, but just packs such an impact. And Monty Hellman is a legend in Hollywood. He produced Reservoir Dogs. It's just you understand why. You understand why.
Passed away too.
He did pass away. And
recently, like within either this year or early last year, something like that.
And I know I talk a lot about Tarantino and stuff like that, but I think
heard of her.
I think this is a testament to when you get onto the director, Mount Rushmore. And I'm not saying Monty Hellman deserves that. I'm just saying that you get to see where everyone came from. And
I think
this is a lot of influence in the Tarantino stuff. I apologize.
Well, Monty Hellman, what he's done is laid the groundwork for a lot of these other directors to, he's holding all these other directors up. Like you said, he helped fund Reservoir Dogs and get Reservoir Dogs up and running, and it started Quentin Tarantino's career. I mean, I'm sure he's influenced a lot of other directors and things like that. They may not be making the same subject matter, but I mean, it's there. I mean, Roger Corman at one point wanted to direct this movie, and once he saw what Monty Hellman was doing with it, he's like, no, I'll just produce it.
Yeah,
like you show respect where the respect is earned, and that's what happened.
Exactly. And I own the Criterion of Two-Lane Blacktop. At some point, I'm going to pick that for the show because I know we do not have it. But
my expectations might be a little bit higher now. So.
Well, it's a complete road trip movie. From what I've heard, it's a complete they're on the road, and it's Two-Lane Blacktop. So, well, everyone, I just want to say Merry Christmas. I hope, or Happy Holidays, whatever you're celebrating today. Even if you're not
Happy Hanukkah.
Yeah. Even if you're not celebrating today, even if you're just hanging out and you're just looking for a podcast, thank you so much for being with us today. We are so happy to do stuff like this for you guys, just to have something fun to listen to. Just if you're hearing this on the 26th, then you know our next show is the top 5. We'd love your suggestions. Anything you saw this year that you found interesting, we'll bring it up on the show. Like we'll always talk about what you guys send us. So get ready for our next episode, which I said last week was probably my most. I'm like.
The anticipation
so
is there.
Fucking excited because we don't have to sit here and rate a movie. It's hard to talk about movies sometimes. You get to talk about a bunch of different stuff that you loved throughout the year and a bunch of different stuff you hated. And I think we all have different lists, and just it's going to be a lot of fun, guys.
Well, it's like when we did that other movie, our favorite Halloween or something
yeah,
like that.
Exactly.
I love
that
sometimes it's
episode.
nice to talk about a movie without having to quantify how you felt about
exactly.
it. Even though we're quantifying by placing it in the top 5. But I think I'm with you. I'm looking forward to it. I cannot wait to make Scott have to pull a lot of audio for this one.
Oh, I know. That's my favorite part.
This is going to be so good. I'm happy for it.
And
so this is going to be fun.
And here's how that conversation goes. Okay, Scott, I'll pull all the no, Aaron, I have to put it in there, and that's the hard part. So, but anyways, thank you guys so much, and Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Please go out and watch Cockfighter. Hit us up on the Facebook I'll Watch It Later podcast, Instagram at Watch It Later Pod, Twitter at Watch It Later Pod, and our website is watchitlaterpod.com. Jordan's throwing my fucking movies off the shelf. It's all good.
We know some of you have watched it already, so chime in.
Churn in.
I was going to say churn in,
Yeah.
but chime in and let us know what you thought about the movie.
Absolutely.
Please.
I'm not kidding you. I know we say this every week. I know there's at least 750 people who've downloaded this, so not including ourselves. Just send a quick message on Facebook. Just fuck you guys. We'll respond.
Fuck Aaron.
We will literally
Please.
set aside a section of the show just to talk to you. So we will always bring you up. We will make our listeners a part of our show, and we'll never, ever, ever be mean to you about it.
And if you want to come on the show and talk about something,
you are more than welcome.
we will put it together.
We have a fourth mic.
We're working on getting everything set up to zoom in or have a fourth mic if somebody wants to come in studio to have conversations. I mean, we'll do it, man.
I've already
We'll
talked to
mix it
some
up a little
people,
bit.
some of my cinephile friends, and I know they want to be on the show. I think we're going to mirror in here sometime next year after everything settles down. And like I said, I'm still trying to reach out to the guys at Severin, the guys at Orbit, just all sorts of different people. We're not taking this, as just some goofy thing we're doing. We're actually really putting in some work here.
We're really trying to get Cockfighter of the Year, guys.
We will see you guys in
That's what I want to
2022.
do. Medals for all of us.
As always, I'm Aaron.
I'm Jordan.
And it's Scott.
And
I'm White Lightning.
And keep lying to your friends about the movies you're watching. Have a good.
Here we go again.
Oh, the new one. Oh, this is great. I can't wait.
Have a great Christmas.
Yeah, Merry
Happy
Christmas.
holidays. Thank you guys so much.
Just wanna fuck, no one, no romance. Today. Whip it on the honey, I can't away.